Hello, and welcome to A Lone Brotaku Plays. As you could have guessed, it's just sort of me all by myself today. That's kind of fun, I guess, every now and then. I might as well do stuff. So, today I'm going to be taking a look at Sine Mora. I'm not so much taking a look at Sine Mora as just sort of talking. I sort of felt like talking at the YouTube channel, talking at my screen a little bit. And so I thought, let's put something on in the background and I'll talk about it while I'm playing it. I'll see if I'm good at that, good enough at that, who knows. I think what I'll also do is I'll just have me talking over this one, but I'll also have sort of like a silent playthrough thing going on, that I'll have like the game going on, but without me talking over it, like right here, you know what I mean? So I think that could be something where it's like, who knows? So let's jump into this. New story mode. So, new game. I've never played Sine Mora. I remember I bought this game. I think it was a Steam sale. And you know how Steam sale purchases go. I'm pretty normal. It says it's for beginners. So when you're born with the ability to travel through... Oh. I didn't expect that, to be honest. That caught me off guard.
Mivel azonban te is halandó vagy, alaposan meg kell fontolnod, mikor és hol teszed, amit teszel.
Your gift, like rage, is meaningless without power.
A képességet szart se ér hatalom nélkül, akár csak a harag. A hatalmat pedig Seolon, a Lail birodalom képviseli és gyakorolja. Az enkik mindkét alapszabályról megfeledkeztek. Örökké tartó háborúnak hívták a vallépésüket, de szánalmas ellenállás.
Huh. I honestly, I don't know if there was a way to change the language. I didn't notice anything right off the bat, so... I don't know if this is actually the game I signed up for. It looks like something, but to be honest, I'm not really sure. Sometimes you don't really know what you're signing up for. Do you copy? So what did I sort of feel like talking about? I mean, I guess realistically the only thing I've had to talk about so far is anime, really. Do I have to answer somehow? No, okay, it's all cinematic. Is anime so far, just sort of sitting down and taking in all the media around me. You know, sometimes how that goes, there's nothing really else to do. Right now I'm just sort of in a point where I'm waiting for job opportunities to sort of open up, and I'm just sort of sitting at home otherwise. Which is a lot of fun. I actually started doing the YouTube channel thing just because it sort of gave me something to do. It was a nice hobby to have. My mother used to cut glass, and I sort of figured it's the same thing. Everybody needs a hobby to not just sort of want to, you know, strangle themselves in their sleep sometimes. And, you know, when you've got a big empty bed, it's, you know, you really don't want to strangle yourself in your sleep. Oh my god, I'm playing. Okay. Okay. That was actually pretty neat. I went from like a nice little cinematic thing to this thing. Alright, so this is actually 22. So that means there's 20. I guess I'm just sort of shooting wildly right now. Okay, you fire faster the more you're holding it down. Oh, boom, okay. Alright, so you have a timer. You get more time based on how many of them you kill. Alright, so like I said, you know, just sort of don't want to strangle yourself in your sleep. I got hit by something. So, you know, you don't really want to strangle yourself in your sleep, so you need to do, you know, something to keep your mind off of the cruel reality of just not doing things, which is actually one of the reasons, you know, I was so dedicated to school in the first part. It gave you something to do, you know, all those years of elementary, middle, high school, and then, you know, college comes around, all of a sudden, your life's not dictated by the people around you, and you just have yourself to do this or that. It's honestly really intimidating, because then you just have to think to yourself, like, if I fuck up, it's all on me. Nobody else messed up. I fucked up. And then you're fucking up your entire life, basically. So, but, you know, I have little things on the back burner. I have the YouTube channel to keep me preoccupied, and I play a lot of World of Warcraft, and I've got some great people I play with, so that's nice. But, other than that, I just try and consume as much media as possible. I love watching documentaries, I love YouTube, I love, anime. Sub-weapon. Oh, that's nice. Oh, and they're homing missiles. Okay, I can live with that. Let's do another one of those. Man, this looks really good, actually. I'm actually really impressed with this game so far. So I wonder how far back you fire that actually dictates how much it helps. and if there's some way to get more of them. I love that little flapping animation. So, anime this season. This season has been really scant on good anime, I'll say. Originally, I was only interested in 2 different ones, just 2, and that's kind of slim pickings. When a season comes out, I like to look for, holy shit, I like to look for a battle anime. I like to look for a romance anime, comedy, that kind of stuff. I like to sort of diversify my bonds a little bit. But this season I could only really find 2, and one of them was just a spin-off thing, but I'm getting ahead of myself. So Ore Monogatari was the first one that caught my eye. Mostly I liked the style of it, I liked the way it looked, and it's a romance anime. And something I didn't mention, or something I may not have mentioned, is I love romance. I love little romance stories. I love romance plots and all that. I love rom-coms every now and then. Most of them are pretty garbage, but you know what I mean. It's like I loved The Lake House, even though that wasn't that great, but it had Keanu Reeves in it, so how could I resist? But I love romance stories, and I read lots of romance books and novels and short stories and things like that. So Ore Monogatari is sort of like the thing I wanted it to be, so I need to try out this time capsule thing. I think that just slows everything down. So this guy has a shield. And now we're getting into Touhou territory here. How big is my hitbox? Okay, so I actually need to move forward to avoid some of these. Okay, so I do have a pretty well-defined hitbox, which is good. That one took a little bit of focus. But yeah, I love the romance story, so I had to watch Ore Monogatari. And, you know, the fact that it's like a big guy, like I am, I'm very tall. But the fact that it's a big guy falling, like, you know, who's had trouble with relationships in the past, which isn't something I've actually had a problem with, to be fair. I don't date that much, but I've never been, I guess, dedicated to it as he is, where like the main plot is he always falls in love with women, but women are always sort of, they don't like him that much. They sort of make fun of him because he's a really big guy. Like, not that he's tubby or anything, but he's like a giant. He's portrayed as compared to other Asians, which extend shield. Okay, I guess it's like a bonus thing. Can I shoot these? Wasn't me. You're able to upgrade your primary weapon in 9 steps. Permanent. So he's this really big guy, and women never really got into that. In a sense, they're intimidated by how tall he is, but he's so tall that it's almost freakish. They like to make fun of him for it. So romance has never really worked out for him in a sense like that. They always fall for his more attractive, quiet friend, and they sort of make fun of him behind his back. And that was work out. But he eventually he falls in love with this girl, and that's how the series is going so far. And it's super adorable. I just love it. All the voice actors they're really, like, you can tell that they're into the role. They follow it really nice. The pacing is actually really fantastic for a romance story. Usually romance story, like if you follow it, like Toradora is one of my all-time favorites. Toradora had 8,000 episodes. And it wasn't until about 7,000 episodes in that romance actually started to happen. And that always sort of bothered me. Like, it can be well done, and I thought Toradora did okay, whatever, because it had like a different kind of subplot going on. But that was sort of a thing that they did. But this one, like, it's right off the bat, like they're really working on the whole romance angle, and I love that. I really appreciate seeing that. It adds something to it where the story can just jump right into it and then follow the romance, which it really isn't something you see. And so far I'm really loving it. The animation's really nice. They only do so much, but it looks smooth. It doesn't look very cheap. The backgrounds are well done. I love all their like colors and the ways they handle it. You can tell that there's like a little bit of love for the story going on with the artists, with how they do this or that. Like you'll notice it. I wouldn't say it's anything super impressive, but I think it looks really good, and I love the pacing's nice, and I think the voice actors are really into it. So I'd say so far, like just for this season, that's probably my anime this season, just because it doesn't really have that much competition between it, and then I'm going to talk about 3 others that wasn't really that much into. That just happens every now and then. Not every season can be great. Last season had fewer; it only had 2, and I'm interested in 4 this time. So I guess technically it's ahead in that sense. So the other one I was interested in is actually the Haruhi spinoff. They're doing a spinoff where it's just following Nagato in the Disappearance series. So in the Disappearance of Haruhi Shizumi, with the name I'm going to maul, because it's been forever since I've seen it, was a movie they released for the Haruhi series where Haruhi disappears and they're sort of in an alternate universe where the characters exist without her, in a sense. And Nagato's just sort of like, Nagato's the android that comes from space. And Nagato's just sort of like the shy, quiet girl that doesn't really talk much. Obviously, she's a robot. And so in this world, she's like this awkward, shy, tsundere kind of thing that has a thing going on for the main character whose name I can't remember right now. That isn't Shizume. But that looks really cute. I don't think it's started yet as of the recording of this, but I'm sort of looking forward to it because Haruhi was a really nice series. I want to digest more. Plus, the movie was so good that any series after that deserves a little bit of respect. You know what I mean? Like the movie was really nice. I loved the movie, especially with how long we had to wait to get any sort of a fan sub or anything like that for it. But that'll happen. If anything, it was actually pretty widely released one in America. It was refreshing. Maybe it's because they had a bigger audience, maybe because they had a nicer budget for it. It's hard to say sometimes. Let me just... Yeah, I could feel something in my nose, and I just sort of had to take care of that, and I wanted to do it without the microphone on. Just sort of skipping through this game. So that'll be fun. Outside of that, there are two that I've ended up looking at since the season started, and that's Kekkai Sensen and Shokugeki no Souma. Oh, there's a lizard person here too. Linth. Oh, yeah, that's that sort of caught me off guard. Look at that shit. That was the phone ringing. Somebody I don't know. Oh my god. Okay, I got that guy. So, of those two, I'm probably going to talk about Shingeki no Soma. So, no Soma is it's actually a cooking anime, which is actually really interesting. So, outside of YouTube and all of that, like, growing up, I always learned to cook. An Italian family with an Italian mother always likes to share her mother's recipes. So, they it sort of comes down to the generations. And of my siblings, I was the one that took to cooking first. My younger brother also likes to cook, and then I have another brother who's not that into it, so... But I love cooking, and actually I'm looking to go into baking as a profession, so that's nice. But cooking animes, like they're kind of rare. Like I tried to find manga to read. I don't know that about it, but really, like all I could really find was it was this one on a guy who wanted to be a pizza chef. I think he wanted to be a gourmet, and the manga took itself somewhat rather seriously, which wasn't necessarily what I was looking for at the time, but I'm sure I could go back to it if I can remember the name. But Soma seems to have that sort of a comedy-ish effect to it. Like it doesn't take itself quite as seriously, and so because of that, it has like lots of nice comedy to it. Like, admittedly, I don't think it takes the cooking as seriously as it does. Like in one of the first episodes I watched, like he has to do a roast and they put too much salt on it, so they have to start over again. And he somehow takes like at least a pound of beef, like a beef roast, and somehow manages to cook it to perfection in half the time it would normally take to do it. And that didn't sit quite. Her last name is Dryad, I have to point out. That's something. And that didn't quite sit well enough with me, but I like the way it looks, and the characters seem fun enough, even though it might just turn into one of those weird harem animes. It's something I'm looking at right now, at least. We have a tentacle ship, because that's about as practical as... Kolobok. It's about as practical as a ship can get. So they... Oh my god. How do you dodge that? That's this ship's special. Oh my god, and it blocks other ships' fire too. Showing me the button. So it seems to have like a dedicated weak point. It seems to be that flashing panel right there. Almost got it. There we go. I wonder if that might have disabled its big cannon. Oh my god. Up, 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 up. There it is. Alright, so that's like a great, like, okay, I need to get myself situated kind of thing. But, so the show doesn't take itself, like, as seriously as that other one did, so, I have to give it some credit for that, at least. I can appreciate it. Like I said, it always has the possibility to turn into some sort of weird harem thing, because there's like 3 girls that are all over his stick. And at least 2 guys, so I can think of that are all over it, too. But, it looks like it could be a lot of fun. I'll probably check that out a little bit more. And then recently, a guildie of mine, going into the last anime of the season that I'm sort of looking at, suggested to me an anime called Kekkai Sensen. And it seems to have a Cowboy Bebop-esque animation style, while being a battle anime set in a somewhat different, futuristic, alternate dimension New York City. kind of thing. And there's like a couple of tropes there that, you know, may or may not be appreciated kind of thing. But, you know, man, the mouse sensitivity is really low. Is that on my end? No. So I'm trying to like scroll faster, and it doesn't really want me to. Maybe it's because, oh, you know, it could be the wind actually, and maybe that's why the ship needs tentacles, because it actually needs to crawl. But yeah, you know, so far the main catching point to it is that it's a battle anime, and I really wanted a battle anime, and you know, what better to do that? There's one down. So what better way to get your battle anime than to just go out and just watch anything that fits the genre, you know? The lasers really are like distracting in this game. It's like, how do you dodge the lasers? But I don't know. So it seems to be like the sort of battle anime with like a higher plot to it, and that seems to be some sort of godlike entity wants to do this or that, and all kinds of small players, and it's kind of a token thing. I've only watched one episode of it so far, but the anime is really crisp. It's really well done. The animation, which is the main draw to it. I saw the ED and I was like, oh, okay, you know, I gotta sort of edge myself here. There we go. But sort of had to edge myself through it a little bit, and I liked the voice acting. I liked the way the characters looked. I loved the way the background looked, the city looked, and all that. You could tell it had like a little bit of world building going on there, and that's something I can appreciate, you know. I feel like it's something that might be worth checking out. Who knows if the story's going to go anywhere nice enough, but I have some faith in it. You know how that is. So that's this season. This season has a little bit more promise now than I originally thought it did. Like I said, I was only interested in the one show, the Monogatari show, and then I saw the Haruhi spinoff, and I was like, oh, Haruhi spinoff, that could be something. But so carrying over from last season, actually, is another show that I'm watching right now that I sort of forgot to mention, but it's actually from almost 2 seasons ago, so I figure I could wait to bring it up, and it doesn't really fit into the season because it's not new to it. So now I'm underground, or underwater. Oh wow, each of these gives time. This is where that mouse sensitivity thing's coming back to bite me right in the ass. Just taking some of these body shots. Fuck. It's like moving through fucking maple syrup. But, Punk Spirit is my special. I'm not the same ship, so I can only really imagine what this thing's special is. But, so is Ansatsu Kyoushitsu, which is Assassination Classroom. And this show is super funny. Now, talking about crisp animation, this show is very smooth. The action is incredibly well done. It's a super fun show to watch, and I'm loving every moment. So now I move faster. Still can't go backwards with shit. Okay, so I have to actually be careful about the terrain now, because otherwise I have a feeling I'll crash. So moving forward seems to be this game's sort of forte. Moving backwards, it really doesn't like. But so Kyoushitsu Assassination Classroom, like I love the comedy of it. I love the style of it. Some things I don't like is, you know, it falls into the few tropes here and there, like androgynous male character that looks sort of girly for no reason, other than like, let's make this character look girly. And, you know, I can get, you know, things for a bubble. Let me just. There we go, got it. And, you know, that's a trope I can forgive, mostly because I like the character. This is a show where, all around, everything's kind of nice about it. I love the humor of it, the pacing's really nice, the characters are enjoyable. They feel like actual people, to an extent. I always hated when shows will take, like, oh, you know, we're middle school characters, and we're going to talk like we're high schools, or you know, 20-somethings in college about problems that we don't really have that much in high school, because that's what it takes, because nobody wants to listen to kids be dumb kids, so because of that we need to have them talk like smart adults kind of thing. I don't know. That's just like, that's one of those things that can just bug the hell out of people. Like if you're not watching for it, it's like I said, it's just one of those things that, like, if you notice it, it bothers you. If you don't, and so this show doesn't do that. Like, these are kids, they talk like kids in their position, like they're at a prestigious, like, high-tier school and all that, and so they talk like you'd expect kids in that situation to talk, and I like that. And like I said, the animation's really well done. The action's neat. I feel it's a good show. Scraping bottom there. I think I'm taking more damage from the scenery than I am the actual enemies, but I think that's also part of the point of this level. And so I can appreciate that. I'm kind of curious what this punk spirit ability is, but I want to save it for something big. And this is looking pretty boss roomy. I don't know. So Assassination Classroom, like it's obviously it's a comedy, sort of a seinen kind of thing, where it's meant for younger kids to sort of laugh about, but it has some adult tones to it. I feel like it's meant for 20-something-year-olds or close to that. I think it's a lot of fun. I've been enjoying it. And then the only other one from last season, winter 2014-2015 season, was Death Parade. Now, Death Parade sort of got mixed reviews here and there, but I'd say overall, it's a nice show. I was certainly enthralled with it. It has a nice story, has a nice mellow tone. It's kind of relaxing to watch, and I can really appreciate the character Decken. I feel like it's got more going for it story-wise than your average anime has every now and then. Acridoidea, water submarine, neat. I'm really digging this game so far. I haven't really been talking about it, but I guess that's not really the point of this. I just sort of wanted to talk about stuff. You have this going on in the background, really. Can I shoot this yet? There we go. Oh, that's an annoying ability, yeah. And then, oh shit. Alright, let's see what this punk spirit thing... Whoa, my god! Okay. So this guy's thing seems to be all about slow, then fast. I don't want to move forward here. There we go. So Death Parade, it follows this guy called Decken at a bar, and when people die in pairs, like when two people die at the same time, they have to come here and reach judgment in a sense. He does a series of tests to see, like what they think about this or that kind of thing. So this punk spirit seems to be like an up close, like flip. There we go. Oh my god. See, lasers, man, they're spooky. They're like cheating in games like this. I can't tell if it's lighting up because it's powering up or just because the lighting's changing. All I know is this is actually really impressive for just a side-scrolling game. I have a feeling I had to shoot that thing. And those panels too. Okay. Oh. So I see now, so I gotta watch out for these lasers because they seem to sort of... They're like area denial. Oh my god. I thought I destroyed that panel. Okay, so they come back. Maybe I just had to destroy them enough. I can see that. Destroy them enough. Kinda wanna go in for some punk spirit. There we go. That looked like to have done it. Nice. It's a cool ability. Now I just sort of need to keep up with them coming out. Okay, perfect. It's funny, I had so much to talk about all the other ones. Death Parade, I think I appreciate it more for the tone of it than anything. It has sort of like a darkness to it. It has like a story that there's more to it than what they're initially showing going on. And I can appreciate when a story is bigger than what they can show right off the bat, kind of deal. And I gotta find where I'm shooting. Oh, these are tracker missiles. Oh, shit. Okay, I just shoot this thing. I didn't even see its health pool. So I love the tone of Death Parade, and that's enough to appreciate on its own. It's something that's worth checking out in the last season. I think I don't really have that much to say about it now because the season sort of ended on like a cliffhanger, and it didn't get to explore itself enough. But I loved the tone of it. And the pacing I thought was nice episode to episode. It might, especially for like a really short, like half a core kind of thing. What can you expect outside of that? Oh, okay. And then like, is that gonna blow them? Yeah. Wow. Okay, so it's blowing them at. It's pretty neat. So now I have to like watch the trajectory of the bombs too, like not just where they're falling, but where they're going to go. So that means the most threatening ones are the ones actually in front of me. This one seems to push harder. They seem to have harder kick the lower you go. This has the same charge-up mechanic where the faster, the more you're shooting, the faster you shoot. Or at least momentarily. There we go. Okay. So going back another season, autumn 2014 season, I'm just sort of talking about the shows that I've really loved. You know how that is. There are things that I've put more effort into watching than other ones. Nonatsu no Taizai. Nonatsu no Taizai was easily my was one of my top contenders for anime this season for 2014. I felt like this show had a little bit of everything you wanted in it. It had action, it had romance, a little bit of drama here near the end, but that was sort of whatever. So it had action, romance, drama, but I like power, like, you know, all the little things I like to look for in different animes. It had little elements of all of them. On top of that, I thought the animation was nice. Parts of it looked somewhat simplistic. You can tell there are moments where that the style just sort of lent itself really well to easier the devil's ass sort of lended itself to a simpler animation style, and I can appreciate taking the source material and using it as a, you know, to sort of fit the tone of it all, and I really like that. I feel that sometimes I feel like the best thing about Nonatsu no Taizai. Am I supposed to be doing something right now? Okay, this is still just. I don't know if I just killed this guy or not. I feel like these are little houses or something, but I'm not really sure. But I feel like the best thing about Nonatsu no Taizai was its tonal pacing, in a sense, where you watch it and like it has a tone to it. It's like a serious tone, a comedic tone. Something like it shifted very well. Like, I say it almost shifted perfectly between them. It was never taking itself too seriously at one point and immediately switching to too funny, or it's never telling jokes and immediately switched to super serious like that. I feel like the tone of it, the way the characters talk to each other, the music, the gags that were coming out flowed perfectly with what the show was doing, in a sense. Like, there was never like, haha, we're joking and now we're killing each other, like, we gotta do this kind of thing. It flowed very naturally into, okay, you know, we're just sort of walking around, we can chit chat like we're friends and all that, but there's something coming up in the future and we're sort of partially planning about it, and now we're getting closer, it's time to go. Like, you know, we have to serious up now kind of thing, we're warriors and all that. And like that's something a show can really miss out on. That's something a show can. I don't know why my nose is giving me so much trouble today. Maybe it's just because of the temperature, the humidity, or something like that. I don't really know. It's one of those. I'm blowing my goddamn eardrums out, trying to look. I didn't even mute the mic for that one. I now have to go back in post and take care of that. Isn't that great? But yeah, no, that's what I'd say its best thing is seriously the pacing of the tone. If you want something that's sort of light, easy to watch, has funny, and it like has funny moments and like good battle scenes and all that, Nonatsu no Taizai, Seven Deadly Sins, was certainly one of those contenders for it. I'd say it was great. Yeah. So I completed a stage here. I guess I'll just sort of go through what I was doing, or just sort of quickly go through some of my other top ones. So another one I watched was Garo Honoo no Kyokun, and it was sort of like a battle anime, and obviously I mauled its name, but it was a battle anime, and I feel like that one had a lot going for it. It had a neat story, it had an interesting enough story, the battle scenes were really good. There was a lot of moments where they mixed in sort of cheapy looking 3D stuff to sort of save on time doing the armors and all that, and I can forgive them for it because it would be very difficult, but I feel it takes a lot away from a show when you do cheapo 3D stuff. Another one that I really liked was I can't really remember what it's called. Yuramashi Pedal, I think is what it was. And they had moments where they'd switch in. They had a game that they made based on it, and there were a lot of moments where they'd actually switch in the 3D models for it. And I can understand it. It saves time and effort, but man, it really looks cheap in the long run of it all. And I sort of couldn't forgive them for it. But both great shows. And I'd say Garo's main problem is that near the end of the second core, like when it's getting on in episodes, it actually sort of takes a really big shift. No reason to spoil any of it for it, but it takes a big story shift and all that. And one of the main characters has a moment where you're sort of like, I don't know how much this is worth following. And another show that's had a similar fate, that's almost exactly in the same genre of action, drama and all that, is Parasyte. Parasyte was another show that I was in love with and started watching, and then later on it took this thing happened and it changed. I had a big shift in the tone of the story, and that can sort of take you out of it. It's like, I feel like at least with Garo, like it was a sudden like drop, like boom, like you didn't know what you thought of it anymore for at least an episode or two, and then I've been told it clears up a little bit, but I sort of lost my way with that one a little bit. But with Parasyte's sort of like a slow burn where you're watching it and then all of a sudden something happens, and then another 10 episodes will go by, and you're still not sure what you think about it. You're not sure like if you're going to want to follow it, or if you even like the story anymore, or if you're still just in it for this or that. And that can be sort of, I don't know, it can be a little I can move really fast in this one. My mouse sensitivity is it's not fighting me now. I can actively move around a little bit. Backwards is still hard, but it's better than it was underwater. Maybe that was the point. But realistically, it should be almost as easy to move forward. Nah, I'm not going to get too much into that right now. I'm talking about anime, not the video game I'm playing. Jeez, guys. But so that was a problem I felt like Parasyte and Garo both had. But at least Parasyte has a more entrenching set of characters. With Garo, the best character was the father, hands down the best character. But in Parasyte, it sort of had more of a relatable cast in a sense. Started introducing more characters, like, oh, this character does this character does that, and like you can see that. But in Garo, all the characters are like they're all variations of mysterious fighter guy with something like a dark past or something. And I don't know, nothing terribly wrong with that, but it gets a little bit cliche when a lot of characters. That ship was really well hidden there. I had to give it some credit for hiding behind the rock. It looks like I'll get to find out what this ship's special is. The Skilla, a mega battleship. Neat. What is the name of this special ability anyway? Gemini drone. Oh, okay. So I summoned 2 little. Okay. Nice. Way to go, drones. I don't know. So like those battle anime. Oh wow, we're right into another one. The Perimeter Watchtower. I love the design of the bad guys in this ship. They're better than some of the animes I've been talking about, to be honest. But Parasyte, I just sort of like slowly lost my drive to watch that all the time. I guess I just couldn't get over like when the character has a moment where he has a change in appearance, and I just sort of really couldn't get behind that too much. It took me out of it. But there's only so much you can say. Oh my god. So I'd say one of the coolest things about this is it feels like you're slowly dismantling your opponent's like power base. I don't know if that light is supposed to hurt me or what, but it really freaks me out. It gives me like a bad sense of vertigo. Like holy shit. As you can tell, this game, like when you have it set to the like the lower difficulties, it's very forgiving. I've been hit a lot. I'm too used to playing games like sort of like the Tower House series, where you get hit once, and then all of a sudden you're out of it. Like that's it, get good, kid. Like they're done with you. Look at that guy. Like that's some testicular fortitude standing out there directing that shit going on. It's like I could take that guy out. Like what would it hurt the ship? Like would they have to replace that guy in some way? Like would that be difficult for them then? It's, you know what I mean? It's like is he, what is he directing? Like is it just the tanks rolling out to their deaths? And, I don't know. Now I'm deciding to undermine its there we go. Wow, the entire thing's like a rotating death machine. You have to give it some credit for that. So I want to kill this thing. Might as well put these guys up. But you know, like that'll happen with different kind of battle animes. And I guess it's kind of rude to fault them on their story too much, but it is something that matters. That's really all that's holding that up. But I don't know. So I can't really recommend Garo and Parasyte to people who don't like big shifts. But I feel like they have a strong enough story that they could carry on with it, and I've been told that they do carry themselves on with it pretty well. Going back another season and, you know, talking about some of these shows, I'd say we're actually some of the best animes I've seen in the past year and a half or so. It's Girls Monthly's Nozaki-Kun, which is a comedy romance story, and it doesn't push romance too hard. It's more about the comedy, and it has some of the best senses of humor that I've seen in anime in a long time. And Bakumatsu Rock and Barakamon. Bakumatsu Rock is one of those ones where you look at, it's like, oh, you know, this could be kind of silly. It is kind of silly. It is the cheapo 3D thing. But I feel like it's goofy enough that I appreciate it. I wouldn't say it was like a top tier, but I enjoyed it enough. But Barakamon was a fantastic anime. It was one of those, like sort of what I was talking about, like a young guy is having problems coming to terms with what he's doing and all that. That's actually kind of refreshing. It has like solid life lessons involved, which, you know, taking solid, like saying something like this anime has solid life lessons can be sketchy at best, to be honest, considering most anime's views on the world and how characters should be acting. But I felt like this show was very sweet. It had a strong sense of itself. it really wanted you to empathize with the character. It made the character very easy to relate to. It really built him up as a real person, somebody that you could see like living, like a problem that they're having with themselves. They're an artist that's struggling to find their identity, like their own style in a sense. But it's a little bit beyond that, because like for him, like they say he wants to find a style, but he wants to find himself in a sense. He wants to see like who he's going to be, like how he's going to act in the world. Always raised to act like his father. He doesn't really know if he wants to be such and such and such and such. But really, really great show. Super powerful. I felt it had a nice message to it. Powerful might not be the right word for it, but it's a strong anime, and I feel like it was really underappreciated. I feel like it didn't get the attention and credit that it deserved. Really. Very similar tone in a sense to another anime I was going to talk about called Mushishi. Mushishi is very relaxed, very calm-toned anime. Powerful characters, powerful moments kind of thing. Like nothing said without relevance, outside of like a few maybe comedy moments. Less in Mushishi, more in Barakamon. But Mushishi is, and these ones have like a great calm tone to them. They're an anime that you watch on like I can imagine watching on like a cool day with Coco kind of thing. You'd watch these animes. Like they're not battle or romance centered or all that. Like they're just sort of very relaxing in a sense. Like you're sitting in a room and the air conditioning is just perfect, and you just want to sit down and watch something. I'd say that's where these two animes come in, and I feel like they're great for stuff like that. I finished another stage here, so I'm probably going to cut it off. It's been almost 40 minutes. But another ones that I watched, I'll just mention a name, were No Game No Life, really funny comedy anime, super great to watch. I enjoyed the hell out of it. I'm waiting for a second season. Hosaiki no Raitetsu, which follows the Devil's Assistant kind of thing. It was very fun, pure comedy anime I felt with really solid animation to it. Something worth checking out. And finally, I was recommended enough to the point that I just had to sit down and watch it. Was Yandematsu yo Azazel-san. This guy summons demons and he runs a detective agency with them. Very, like I said, once again, another purely comedic anime. Nothing really too much going on with the story or depth. If anything, they sort of use the devil's names and all that. They're all well named demonic characters, either the devil himself or different devils that are in charge of this and the Bible or different other religions. And he sort of, I don't know, they're drawn sort of very comedically. It gives you the sense they don't take it seriously in a sense, but then again, like I said, it's purely a comedy anime, and in that sense of understatement is itself a sense of comedy that the show really goes for. But I don't know. So as you notice, I've been playing Sine Mora. This has been the Lone Brotaku talking to you about anime and playing Sine Mora in the background, at least. I hope you guys have enjoyed it. It was really refreshing to sit down and just sort of talk to the screen and get all this out. It's nice to talk to people about things you like, and I love TV shows. I hope maybe you find some sort of recommendation from it. Who knows? Like I said, I'm going to be putting up a version of this that's just pure gameplay of Sine Mora, because I didn't pay any attention to the game, so I didn't do it any justice by talking about this. Obviously, I could just be putting in clips of anime over it, and it would be just as good, but I'm going to have these two together, and then I'm going to have one linked in the comment that's just the actual gameplay. So whichever one you're going for, I hope you enjoy it. I sort of rambled on. I hope you guys have a great day. Maybe you'll find, if you find any show that you saw or recommended here that you check it out and you like it, let me know. I'd love to talk about the shows. So, goodbye, everybody. I love you.